collection this Friday. So how did it go? Well, first off, the game is running beautifully on my gaming PC. Zero complaints. I'm playing at 4K, 120 frames per second. Beautiful. Doesn't seem like there's any input delay or anything. Just looks gorgeous. I didn't have any problems technically with it at all. I think that it was really, really good. So in that regard, playing it on PC seemed to be a good choice. Now, as for the controls, I'm now playing on keyboard and mouse. That's a first for me. I used to always play all big AAA games on pad, right? So playing on keyboard and mouse, there's definitely some advantages and some disadvantages. Okay, the advantages, well, you can turn faster. You can, aim more precisely, right? That's excellent. But keyboard and mouse has some detriments. For example, they want the E button, which is the button right, to the side of where you move forward with W, to be melee. Okay, that's easy enough. But then to the right of that is shield. And that's kind of hard to remember and or reach because it's kind of just slightly to the right of it. So to do the shield toss, which is essential, you need to be doing shield tosses to break armor in this game. I'm not getting it all the time, and that's definitely kind of a handicap, okay? So, FYI, I do like the game running on PC, but I need to adjust to the control scheme. Definitely, I feel like I'll get better playing on keyboard and mouse the more I do it, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm just kind of starting out, and it's kind of like slow adjustment. You know what I mean? I have been playing keyboard and mouse Call of Duty for several months, but that control scheme is different. For that, these stun grenades and things is to the left, the Q button, and then the frag is to the right, but nothing uses the R button in Call of Duty. So again, it's like I gotta get used to this using this button. Now, gameplay wise, here's why I think Doom: The Dark Ages is better than Doom Eternal. If you remember in Doom Eternal, they created this bizarre gameplay loop that was oddly not Doom-like at all. It was, first you have to earn health. Then you have to earn armor. Then you have to earn ammo. And then you have to build your rage meter. And then you just play the game in a giant circle like that. Use this thing to build up this. Then use this combat ability to build up this. Then use this to do this. And it just felt incredibly repetitive. It did not feel like Doom at all. It definitely felt like something different. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people did like that formula. They didn't have issue with it at all. They really enjoyed it. I personally didn't. I felt like it went too far from what Doom had always been. I had played the original Doom 1 and 2. I had played Doom 3. I had played Doom 2016. And the game just felt like it was a spin-off or a different take rather than an actual major entry, official entry in the Doom series to me. But people seem to love it. All right, so I guess I was in the minority. Most people said they loved Doom Eternal, right? So now, with Doom: The Dark Ages, I'll be honest, are there some things that are more modernized that feel very different from classic Doom? Of course. The shield, parrying, and tossing the shield like Captain America, that's not very Doom-like, all right? But let me tell you, this feels a lot more like classic Doom than Eternal did. You no longer have to be worrying about, I have to constantly fill my health, then my armor, then my ammo, then my health, then my armor, then my ammo. Instead, you just focus on the enemies. You focus on what their weakness is. Some enemies have plasma shields that you need to destroy with the plasma gun, and then they blow up. It kills the whole group. Some enemies have armor you need to break with the shield by tossing it like Captain America. Some of them you have to do the shield charge. You bash them and it stuns them. Sometimes you have to hit them with a certain area or a certain weak point, and then you can do melee combos. I like it. Like, it feels better to me, and it feels more natural and more easy to get, and it feels more varied as well. Like, as I'm playing, there seems like it's just more to it than, say, Doom Eternal, where it was just, hey, whatever means necessary, get through it to just get your power-ups, okay? Now, I'll be honest, the plot so far, again, this weird space plot where the angels are aliens called the Martyrs, and they control the Space Marine. He's not the Space Marine. He's the Doom Slayer, the secret weapon, the Beast, they call him. And they've got him under this weird mind control, and he's going through space killing all the demons. But it's very apparent that during the course of the plot, he's going to break free from his control and he's probably going to fight the martyrs. Like, you could already tell. It's going to be pretty easy to predict. But man, I don't like the plot. And I don't think I'm going to. So how I'm going to actually approach this, all right, is very simple. I'm going to suspend my brain when the plot plays out. I'm going to say, I'm playing Doom, the Dark Ages, for that smash mouth, adrenaline fueled, very good graphics, high octane, murder all demons gameplay. I want to be using cool guns, special abilities, just beating the living shit, chopping things up. That's what I'm playing it for. I'm not playing it to get the world's most riveting story. This is not an RPG, right? Thankfully. Because imagine if you had an RPG and the worst part was the story. I mean, that's Avowed in a nutshell. A game that had decent graphics, good gameplay aspects, and the story was ass, so who wants to play it? Not me. In this case, the story seems to be the weakest point, but I think that's okay because I don't care about the story. I care about the gameplay elements, and the gameplay elements seem pretty darn sound, okay? By the way, is my camera in 60 frames? It is, right? I only asked because my camera had a firmware update this morning, and so I know that when firmware updates hit, sometimes they screw with the equipment. As you know, yesterday my mic didn't work right off the bat, so okay, it seems like it's working fine, right? Looks good. It actually said that the camera will now have better contrast and color adjustments. So if the things look better today color-wise, that's probably why. Okay. All right, so far, I really like Doom the Dark Ages. I'm looking forward to more. My only complaint is that, number one, I got to get used to keyboard controls, and it is frustrating when I'm missing the button when I need to, say, toss the shield. It's frustrating. The other thing, there have been a couple issues. There was a game bug where my shield would not block, and I was in the tutorial of how to do a timed parry block. Like, you have to time it perfectly to counter, and then you get, like, a counter hit. It wouldn't block at all. And I was saying to chat, what's going on? And someone said, oh, yeah, that's a known bug. Throw the shield, and then it'll unstick. So I threw the shield, and then it started letting me block again. I was like, now that's a really bizarre bug. I mean, the shield is an essential part of the game, and it happened during the shield tutorial. And I ended up losing multiple revives, and I had to redo the whole scene because of it. It was a really stupid bug. I hope it doesn't happen again. In addition, all right, I decided to play on, what was it, Ultra Violence or something? So this is one step up from what they're considering the default. There's the weakling easy mode. There's Hurt Me Plenty, which is supposed to be, okay, so you've played FPS games before, but you don't want to be too challenged. Then there's this Ultra Violence mode. This is kind of like, for people who play FPS games regularly and are good at them, well, I play Call of Duty, but I don't play a lot of anything else. So honestly, I think it's going to be a little bit more challenging for me. And the reason being, the enemies take ridiculous amounts of your health away with one hit. I'll give you an example. I had 70 health. Okay, 70. I'm walking through a room that looks absolutely empty. I guess there happened to be a tiny enemy at the other end of the room. It shot a single handgun bullet, and it was somehow perfect aim because I was moving, but it still hit me while I was moving from across the room, and I went from 78 health to like 18 health. So you're telling me the little peon dude who's meant to just be fodder takes 60 health out of your health bar each hit? And sometimes the game is ridiculously cheap. For example, I was fighting one of the imps. Now, the imps are slightly stronger. You have to hit them with a bunch of kind of bullet sponges, and then they blink so you can do the melee to finish them. So I'm fighting one imp, and it goes, oh, it's blinking, it's weak, melee. Okay, I do the melee to I kill the imp. Literally, there is another imp standing directly behind that imp you could not see, and he just hits me right in the face and takes my whole health away. I'm like, well, what was I supposed to do? I was killing the imp in front of me. I was in a melee animation. There's no way I can move, and I can't see the enemy standing directly behind his butt. So, you know what I mean? And it seems like that's happening a lot, where enemies are just like teaming up against you in giant waves, and they just shoot you from off screen. They shoot you from behind. What are you supposed to do? You can't always at all times know where every enemy is. And even if you keep moving, the bullets track. I have noticed that the bullets actually track you as you're moving. So they're like homing bullets. So I don't know if that's different on other difficulties or if there's modifiers or whatever. But for me, like, that's kind of ridiculous. So, and I'm only on stage 2. I just beat it. So now tonight we're starting chapter 3 out of 22, by the way. The game has 22 chapters. How hard is it going to be? If it gets so hard that I'm just getting destroyed, I might have to put it back to the standard difficulty. You know, for the stream, people wanted a little bit tougher. I said, you know, there's a million difficulty settings in this one. I'd be willing to go one step up to make it a little bit more interesting. But I really feel like this one is kind of like they're really trying to stack all odds against you, probably because there was just 2016 and Eternal. So they're thinking, oh, you're a hardcore player of Doom. You're going to be kicking ass because you play this all the time. Well, I don't. You know, I played Eternal once. I didn't even like it. So, you know, I'm not used to this. It might be a little bit too much. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I want to keep going for now and see if I can beat this mode or not. If not, if I have to downgrade it, I will. I would like to not, but we'll see. I mean, we're only on stage 2, and it just seems like the odds are crazy against you. Okay. So I hope that we don't have repeated, you know, issues with game bugs. And certainly I hope that the difficulty doesn't get too tough. All right. But outside of that, I really like it. All right. So today it's the daytime stream. Let's see how far we get in around 2.5 plus hours of gameplay. You know, based on that and how it goes, that's going to determine how much more we play it this week. I have another stream set for Wednesday night. And on Thursday, it's a maybe if I'm going to play it on Thursday or not. And also Friday. So if we all really like it, I'll continue to play it regularly all week. We do it every day. Maybe we don't want to do it every day because it might get too played out. I don't know, right? Let's see. Let's play it by ear. But the thing is, that's how the week's laid out. I could play it every day if I want. The thing is that Capcom Fighting Collection 2 comes out on Friday, and if you're not aware, the game has a ridiculous amount of games in it. Capcom vs. SNK 1 and 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Rival Schools United by Fate, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Power Stone 1 and 2, and Plasma Sword. Now, out of those, admittedly, I'm probably only more interested in CVS 2 and Alpha 3. That's probably the 2 I'm going to play the most of because those are the big competitive games. The others aren't as competitive, but I still want to mess with them. It's like, damn, that's like a ton of content in that game. So I'm probably going to want to play it all day on Friday. We're going to jump in around. We'll probably play, we'll do some Alpha. We'll jump to another game. We'll play some CVS. We'll do another game. You know, we'll jump all around it. So with that being said, maybe I want to play Doom every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then give it a break on Friday and then maybe come back to it on Sunday because I'm off on Saturday, right?